700?
Yeah.
Okay.
Text me and I'll text you back.
Text me, then I'll text you back.
Text me then I'll text you back.
You text me, then I'll text you back.
Text me then I'll text you back.
TikTok, you don't stop.
I will help you make your paper stack.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now?
205-964-52439. You know.
Yep.
205-964-52439. You know.
Good afternoon, May 24th.
February.
Yeah, May 24th. Here to talk about real estate investing, strong emphasis on wholesaling real estate. If this is your first introduction to it, we have something in store for you. Low risk, high reward opportunity. We're not on right here.
I hit the button.
The top one. Yeah. Low risk, high reward opportunity. Today's topic is a continuation from yesterday because I never did get to it. I had something pressing I had to take care of. Keep the bills going. Keep the bills paid. Today's topic, 3 ways to find motivated land sellers. Boom. 3 ways to find motivated land sellers is the topic for today. So with that being said, if you want to join us live and get your questions answered on the live stream, tap text the word Gator to the number 205-964-5243. Text the word Gator. You want to partner with us on deals, on house deals, text 5050 to the number. That's 5050, I guess land also. And then on apartments and self-storage, text units to 205-964-5243. Most people fail at this business because they never figure out what a great deal is. Text these letters here because this is so important. Text GD to the number GD, not GED, GD. I need to do that too. Land, if you want to learn how to talk to landowners and how to target them, how to build a list of landowners, text MUD to the number, MUD. Text MUD to this number. Some people say, Ty, will you comp our properties? Will you tell us if we have a great deal or not? Boy, you ask, I deliver. FUP, fixed up price. Tell us is it a deal or not? What's the ARV? How to comp it? We got you taken care of. Text FUP if you need those services. Now, your superpower in all of this is the paperwork. And guess what? We give that away also. Contract I've been using since 2003 and been giving away since 2008 for free. Plus, we tell you how to fill it out for sellers and buyers and how to get it signed virtually. Text the word contract to the number. If you text the word contract, the video has instructions in it. Please follow those. If you come back and say, can I get a printed copy? I mean, you didn't watch the video. All right. You need a contract for land, which is different from houses. Text Earth. Beam me up, Scotty. Text me Earth. Text Earth. Text the word Earth. EA Earth. All right. And I think that's good for right now. We'll bring on some more information that you can capitalize on. Where's tool at? There it is. Time. Okay. So we ready? What y'all got, baby? Go. Oh, VIP. Let me do that while we talk. My man Greg comes on Wednesdays. Had the great suggestion on putting together the keywords that I with these cards in order. So guess what? I just come up with one to somewhat organize the videos on YouTube to create the best step-by-step experience. So it's about 9 videos, and the first 9, the total about 19 or 20 videos on that playlist, but the first 9 are the step-by-step process. The rest of them are going to be very helpful also, but this will help you out a great deal. Text VIP to the number. That's VIP. No periods. VIP, just as you see it here, no spaces. You wonder why I'm saying that? Boom.
All right. The first one comes from RLE Acquisitions. They said, I had a title company tell me they were not in the business of hiding assignment fees. When I asked them, could I submit 2 purchase and sales agreements and closing instructions? Can you elaborate on this process?
Well, number one, the title company, you submitted my closing detail sheet, I'm assuming, to lay out who's the seller, who's the buyer, who's paying what, who's receiving what, the price of the house, and so on, who's paying closing costs. Well, you should have said, I'm not trying to get you to hide the assignment fee. It will be displayed on the HUD-1.
Mm-hmm.
That you didn't make that. I'm assuming you didn't make that request. They just assuming that's what you want. You make it clear that that's not what I'm asking. It'll be the buyer and the borrower side and the seller side. However it's titled on that title, on that HUD-1, it's going to display all the fees there. You're not trying to hide it. You negotiated with it being unknown, if that's how it is, but not when the actual deal is closing. You know, if you pursued it, setting it up the way that I show you how to do it. So yeah, you make it. I'm not trying to hide it. It's going to be right there on the HUD, on both HUDs.
Okay. They also asked this. They
Dummy.
Said, be nice.
They were like,
Block. You need to leave. They also said, I'm leaning more towards the disposition/JV side. Would my purchase and sales agreement for the buyer have my name or both mine and the original contract holder? Thanks.
With mine. For my buyer, have one. Well, yeah, you got to put your name on a contract somewhere with you and the buyer, you and the wholesaler. I'm assuming you mean you're just going to bring buyers to the table for other wholesalers' deals. So your name has to be in the chain somewhere in order that you get paid. So it will be between you and the buyer. You have a contract between you and the wholesaler have the contract between them and the seller. If I understand you correctly.
Okay. Let's see. This one came from Joe M. He said, how are you comping land?
So somebody asked saying, well, how am I comping land? A number of ways. Zillow can be used to get a general idea of what properties are. Oh wow. I thought I had that over here.
Your phone is doing.
Yeah. I got it.
the show.
Yeah.
He's back.
Should have answered that live. You know what happened on that though. But yeah, the comp and land. So you still at the end of the day, you're trying to compare likes to likes as much as possible. Same size, within a certain distance if possible, which a lot of times is not. Size is normal not, but you can break it down, price per square acre sold. Price per acre. I say price per square, price per acre sold. And you still have to take in consideration wetlands, also flood zones. In some markets, the flood zone thing doesn't matter as much as others. A lot of parts of Florida, everything's you'll see a map and for miles you see flood zones, so it's not big of a deal or whatever. That gets a little bit more deeper than that. But so ideally, you're still just trying to compare likes to likes. Now you can use PropStream to comp land. It actually does a pretty good job of pulling up recent sales. If there are any to be pulled, you go in and filter under, once you go into comparable sales, those that you already know, you go into property type and put in residential vacant. Well, you put in whatever that land is coded for that you're targeting. If it's residential vacant or commercial vacant or whatever it is, that's what you're going to put in the property type and try to pull likes to likes. You going back to Zillow, you can use Zillow on the sold side and on the for sale side. And if you look at it on the for sale side, if you find something that's similar zip code or close to yours, and you find multiple properties, you start looking at how long have they been on the market. On Zillow, you'll show how many days on Zillow and how many views. That'll go a long way. If you have a property that's been on Zillow for 1 day and it already has 400 views, it's probably almost priced right. They just ain't about to pull the trigger on it. It's close to being priced right. So from that point, you'll compare with yours based on the difference in the lot sizes, if they're actually similar, meaning how many acres or percentage of an acre they are. But if a situation where it's been on the market 10 days and it only has 40 views, they have probably overpriced, right? And so you're gonna have to find something that's hotter. Now, the properties that have sold, unless you're in a non-disclosure state, then you could compare what has sold and try to get as close to what yours is as possible as far as the size, again, which you can make the adjustment there. You may not be able to tell the flood zone or the wetland situation. You could probably reach out to the county to fact find on that to get that information if you have a parcel number to go by. You can still get into elevations on the property. It does have timber. It does have road access, utilities. Are the houses nearby? Is the mobile home on it now that comes with it or needs to be moved? A lot of factors go into it. It's just not as simple as it is with houses. At least in my opinion, some people may think it's easier, just from what I know. I don't know if I really answered your question. It's sort of hard just to explain it, just without showing you.
All right, this is on TikTok. How much does the area you find the property in affect your deal being able to close?
Location, location, location. One of the famous quotes about real estate. It affects it greatly where the property is located. As everything in real estate, location. I'm assuming that's what they're asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. Hold on. Because I'll be trying to go in order. Someone wants to know, can you comp a property for them? How can they pay for that?
That's fine. The question is perfect. Yeah, you can I can comp a property for you. Just text FUP. Love to comp it for you and tell you what I think you should offer.
Okay. Natalie B says she's having trouble finding a title company that does assignments. She's in the state of Oklahoma. What can she do?
Well, the simple thing you could do if you're having trouble finding a title company. Now, Oklahoma is one of the states where they're requiring a license now, I think. And but you still should be able to find someone to do it. But what you'll do is just use the power of social media, aka Facebook, one of them. And just like with my Facebook group, just go in there and ask a question. What title companies or what closing attorneys are wholesaler friendly in the state of Oklahoma? And my Facebook group is titled Wholesaling Real Estate with the Flip Man.
Okay.
Bye.
Let's see. I'm not gonna skip around just because this girl talking stuff. Okay, this one says creating an LLC to sign off on contracts is different from creating an LLC to sell to a buyer in order to complete a double closing using their funds. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, still got an LLC has to be established for both. But if you're going to do it that way, and you have a buyer that's okay with doing it that way, then yeah, so be it. But I guess that process is different. Yes.
Okay. If someone's purchasing the prop stream and they have an issue with the payment or whatever, what do they need to do?
I think that's not about prop stream. That's about the course. I was paying for the program with Apple Pay and they sold it. Was going to charge me $47, but then, oh, that's too loud. Put it on top of that thing. Yeah. Do the next level down. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. It said I was charged $47, but then went ahead and charged me 2 more times a different amounts, 97. Then the 67 refund me, please. Okay. Oh no, just let me just quote it. But yeah, just email support@flipmasterclass.com.
Okay. I just wanted to say that because she's been like telling everybody else it's fake and all that. So
Yeah, just knock out.
well,
Because we have a process there. I'm
Yeah.
not hard to find.
that's not even like a thing.
Yeah.
Let's go back to this. I don't skip nobody. Let's see. This one says, "How do I find somebody who's selling their house for less?" That's
How do they find someone that's selling the house for less? That's the name of the game.
mm-hmm.
You have to talk to enough people to own real estate. Hopefully, some of those will want to sell, and then some of those will want to sell cheap. It's numbers. That's why I talk about all the different methods of marketing, is that you have to talk to a lot of people that own real estate to get to those ones that want to sell and sell cheap.
Should they text buyers or something?
Well, no, that they're trying to buy. They're trying to find deals.
Okay.
Yeah, they're trying to find deals. So if they're talking about marketing, then it's, oh my God, there's so many different ways. This is one way. Text messaging is one way. You can text the word text to the number or whatever to find buyers. So
Okay, let's see. Michael M said, "Why don't you consider buying homes?"
why don't I consider it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what he means by that.
I guess instead of wholesaling it.
I guess he's
yeah.
talking about flipping.
Mhm.
Well, both of you can make money. Let's be totally clear about that. Whereas one of them, Michael, maybe you have a lot of money starting out. Most people don't. So this is from my personal experience when I started, that I didn't have a lot of money. So I'm supposed to be closed out to really, at least that's what I thought anyway. You're closed out of the game if you don't have the credit and or the cash, but you're not. That's what the purpose of this is, right? So let me ask you, if you could spend $100 and make 10,000, or spend 70 to make 30,000, which one would you prefer to do? And which one do you think you can do the most of? To do 10 of those $100 deals, you just need $1,000. To do 10 of those $70,000 deals, you need $700,000.
I'm just following up to what he said on here. He said, "Why don't you consider buying homes / land on the MLS? I got my first 2 deals off the MLS by simply asking my buyer what's their criteria. As long as the numbers work, what's the issue?"
There's no issue if you have the right buyer. It's no issue. And know how to jump through the hoops with a real estate agent. Obviously, you had earnest money. Obviously, you could do proof of funds. And if you didn't have to do that, God bless you. But most people will have to do that. You got to be a little bit more clear on what you actually did or whatever, because I don't know everything. Educate us.
All right, this is on TikTok. How do I do this and actually have hands-on training?
How do they do this and have how can they get hands-on training to do this? Well, normally when you ask for hands-on training, guys, you do know what you're asking someone to do is to actually spend their valuable time with you. That costs. That's possible, but it costs.
All right, let's see. Let me go back up. All right. This one says, what's the best way to comp land that has multiple houses on it?
Company land with multiple houses on it. First, I would want to see what's the value in the houses themselves. Is it all one parcel with multiple structures on it, aka houses? It's just too many factors. It's not no way I can even start. There's too much information that would be needed to even thinking about looking at a property like that. How big is the lot? Again, how much is that one parcel with multiple buildings on it, or is it all different addresses? It's just too much information that's not known for me to even start to tell you.
All right, this one came from Carmen Rojas. She said, hi, Flipman. I'm trying to keep my questions short. How would you move forward with a probate client that does not want to move forward without his letters or the attorney's approval?
You got to be patient. That's it. That's just one of those. Your follow-up. You just got to be patient on those. Period.
All right, this one came from Shannon. They said, do you know how to do subject to deals?
Not really my lane per se. You can reach out to my man Pace Morby on Instagram, PACEMORBY. He's big in that. Really not my lane.
All right. This one says,
Michelle, turn on your mic and video if you want to join us.
Somebody else just joined.
Sparkle is in the house.
Why can't I find the one? Here we go.
Sparkle.
All right, let me take the thing
Take
down.
on Michelle. Okay, there she go.
I'm gonna add her first. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
How's it going?
Good. I just have a quick question. I've been looking into tax lien sales, and I'm sure this question has been asked before, but can you actually acquire property that way? And if so, how hard is it? And can you actually wholesale it or keep it?
Okay. All right. So where are you live streaming from?
California.
California. All right. The first thing you have to do is to get a real understanding of your tax lien, tax certificate, tax deed process in whatever state you're targeting. And what I mean by that, you need to understand, all right, when someone starts paying the taxes, what's that stage called and what happens? All right. The next stage is, do they have like a sale or some type of, I don't call it a foreclosure, but where the state gets involved or the county gets involved, and what's that's called. All right, from there, if they still don't pay it, and then you want to know what the redemption period is, and the redemption period is they have a certain time frame before, that they can still pay off all of what's owed as far as the taxes, and they're clear, they're up to date. So you'll need to know all that information. Then you want to know the last phase is if it goes into a tax deed status, if that's what it's called in your state, what does that mean if you acquire one of those properties, and how to do so if you wanted to. All right. And then the next stage you want to know is, will that tax deed, the way that state does it, will it allow, will banks offer a financing on those? If not, then you need to know what it takes to get it into a warranty deed state or whatever type of deed is used in that state where banks or lenders are comfortable with lending on those types of deeds or properties. And the reason that's important is that, and some people don't care, if they can get ownership of a property through a tax deed, they don't care if they can ever really sell it if someone needed financing, because the bank is not going to lend on those type of deeds or whatever. So now with that being said, again, so a lot of people will acquire those properties because they turn them into some form of income producing property or whatever. Or some people just like to quote unquote own stuff or have some type of ownership. But assuming they want to try to create some type of rental or whatever cash flow situation, then they can do it. Now, as far as the wholesale side of it, you're really not trying to go through those different stages because you're not interested in any form of ownership or control of the property. You're just using that list as people that may be potentially motivated to sell cheap. Some of them will be because they did not pay the taxes for whatever reason. So what's the reason why they didn't pay the taxes? So with that being part of those that particular type of list, then there's a stronger possibility that some of those individuals will want to sell cheap just to get it out of their name, get that debt cleared from the state records or whatever, and it's an opportunity for you as a wholesaler. So it just depends on what angle you want to take. But the first thing is you could either call your local county tax assessors or tax department, whatever is tax division, whatever it's called in your state, in your market, and hopefully you get someone on the phone that will explain the entire process to you for that state. If they don't, then you do one of the other two things. You can actually call the state for that same division and see if one of those individuals will explain the entire process to you, because once the process is explained to you, it should give you an idea, hey, this is where I can take advantage of those particular potential opportunities once the entire process is explained to you for that particular state.
Okay.
But that's the first thing you got to do, is get someone to actually explain that entire process for whatever state you're targeting. I'm assuming it's California. So
Yes. Okay. That answered my question.
no problem at all. No problem at all.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for joining us. Yes, ma'am.
Bye.
Mhm.
All right, I'm about to add the next person.
Barco, what's happening?
Yes, hi Flip, how are you?
I'm great. How's it going?
It's going okay. So I'm calling from California, and I just have a couple of questions because I was in Birmingham, Alabama, maybe about a week ago or so. And
Okay.
I noticed that, I mean, there's like so many properties, but the properties are like super distressed. Like, I mean, we went down the street and I think it was maybe like, I would say possibly like 7 to 10 houses like on the same street. And I'm just wondering.
Wait a minute. What part of town were you in?
I'm not telling you yet.
No.
I'm not telling you yet.
Trust me. You don't have to tell me, because I can go in. I know several neighborhoods. I can see that at any point I want. I'm just trying to see what part of town I can probably give you a reason why that's going on. I already probably know the reason, but I can tell you what's going on. But go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
That's okay. So what I'm trying to find out is that I know that there's cash buyers out there, and there's probably plenty of them. But I mean, are they actually purchasing the properties being that distressed? I mean, because they're really like.
Well, ideally, like if you're on one block, and you see that many vacant houses, those tend to be more difficult to move.
Okay.
Because when you see an investor that invests on streets like that, normally they want to try to buy as much as possible on a block like that. It's not as many of those out there that you could be in a similar type neighborhood, and then just a block over, everybody care about their lawns, maybe only be 1 or 2 vacant houses, and then you'll have investors really excited about investing on that street versus another. So it just depends. I know just on the surface, it looks like just a ton of. That's rain. Okay. On the surface, it's a ton of opportunity that appears, but that's not always necessarily the case, because if they're that distressed and there's that many of them, then some areas just not ready for a lot of investment, or at least the perception is from investors that would be willing to invest on those streets. So hopefully I'm answering your question.
Yeah, because I mean, it was just that I'm riding like up and down streets like throughout the neighborhood, and I just found like it was just like so many distressed properties in particular area. And like you said, when you go over a street or two, you would end up seeing the same pretty much style houses that, like you said, they kept up the lines and they really kept their houses up. So I was wondering, if I felt like I was kind of like maybe in the wrong area because it was like so many distressed properties. Then my next thought was, should I be looking, instead of looking for a cash buyer, should I be looking on the investor side? Because I mean, to start with one, I don't know if it'd be a good idea or not, but to start with one and kind of work on it and get it together and then move to another one. There are so many of them there. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, what's your end game? Like, are you looking? You're out in California. What part of California?
I'm in Moreno Valley.
Give me something bigger.
Well, I'm in Riverside County.
Okay, you're Riverside. Okay, I know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're used to houses at those prices in similar
Yes, totally.
in similar neighborhoods, if they exist, those houses couple $100,000 or more. Whereas the neighborhoods that you sound like you're in Birmingham, 60,000 or less, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right. And so for someone that's out in your market, then hey, yeah, you could buy this house for 5 to 10,000, put another 25 in it, all in you in maybe 35, 40 grand, and it rents out at $700-800 a month. So yeah, that makes sense. But the biggest thing about being able to, and that's managing real estate, period, but especially in areas like that, the money's made in the management. You can find deals all day for under 10 grand, but can you manage that? Can you manage those types of properties? It comes with a different tenant.
Yeah.
So if you can do that, the world is yours. You know what I'm saying? You can really create a significant amount of cash flow and do it in a very short time frame, assuming you got the resources to do it or whatever. So it just depends if you can manage those type of properties in those types of areas, because it takes a special outfit to do that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it just appeared to me that it was probably just maybe, I was assuming it was like maybe older people that lived there and probably passed the houses, down maybe, and they just, it's
some of that.
Like they walked away or something. I'm not really sure.
Well, yeah, it's some of that. When you're dealing, these are just being real about it. You're gonna have a lot of poverty, so things just gonna, it ain't always go as smooth as they may go in some other neighborhood, because just people don't have. And then a lot of times it comes from you don't know what you don't know, and that's all of us at some level. But you don't know what you don't know. So just come into, like you say, you can go over one street over and everybody care about their block or whatever. If the house that vacant next to this person, they're cutting the grass, even though, you know what I'm saying? So you'll have that. So it's not enough in neighborhoods, what you're talking about, there's not enough consistency to get the appreciation that you would want from a neighborhood in real estate. Because it's not hard to real estate to appreciate, but the people that live there got to care or whatever. So, but that's a whole nother ball, a whole nother story for a whole nother day there.
I know. It's like the struggle is real. I'm like,
it's struggle real, man.
California to Birmingham. I mean, I have family in Birmingham too. So, I mean, this was the first time I actually stopped to actually go around and kind of like take a ride around and look at the properties, though, since I've been watching you. So I was just like, wow, it's all these properties, but I mean, I don't know if this look like this might be not such good, areas.
No, it gets better. It gets better.
But I know there's other beautiful parts of Birmingham has beautiful homes. So I mean, I've been around in Birmingham, and I know that they have very nice and beautiful areas. It was just like some of the areas is just like anywhere else. I mean, there's good areas, there's bad areas, but I just seen so many houses. I was just like, is this a good deal for me to like look into, or maybe this is like not such a good deal? It was kind of like that.
Yeah, they can be, for sure. You just have to get them priced right. Those are a lot of rental areas. A lot of cash transactions, which if you're looking at those on PropStream, sometimes it's even hard to come up with an ARV, but it's cool because you have so many cash transactions. You can literally see what cash buyers are willing to pay for houses in those areas. So
because I found like I think one of the ones I looked at, I think the house may have sold for like maybe 5,000, and then it was another house that sold for like 70,000, and I'm like, wow, okay, I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm saying you'll see that. Yeah, you'll see that sometimes. Yeah, where you see that extreme difference on the cash transaction. Somebody paid 5 and somebody else paid 70 grand. And they could be on the same street. So
yeah, maybe it's better to look at that deal on an investor type deal more so than a wholesale, because
well, you can do both. You can do both now. You can do both.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely do both.
Okay, I just didn't know how far the investor would be wanting to go as far as when you say distress, because I mean, there was like literally a few of the homes that, I mean, the front doors is open. I mean, I wasn't going to walk in because I don't really know the area like that. But I mean, like you could just probably just walk in and see what was going on in the property, but I didn't do that. But I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah. It's opportunity. You just have to know what you're doing. That's it.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna look a little further into it and see what I come up with a few comps or something, or maybe I need to call Renikia and I might need to be looking on the.
Yeah, you should have hit me up. You were here, you should have hit your boy up. You know, I would have gladly gave you my opinion. You told me where you was at or whatever on it. So yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, all right. Well, I'm going back out there again in a couple of more weeks, so I will try to hit you up then and see what's happening.
All right, please do.
All right, thank you so much, Flip. You guys have a good day.
All right, no problem at all. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks. Bye bye.
All right. You got some?
You already kind of answered it.
Okay. All right, let's.
Okay. This isn't just the way.
How much
This
charge
is
they
on
got?
TikTok. What formula do you use to calculate your offer price?
Oh, good question. Well, in this video right here, it'll explain it, but it's ARV times 70% minus repairs minus your fee is the number to the seller. But this video here will break it all down. Just text GD to this number and it'll break it all down for you. And then after that, you'll need this video here because you need to know ARVs. So text ARV to the number and that'll help you with the rest of it.
All right, can you wholesale with no money down?
That's the whole purpose of it. That's the game. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's the definition of wholesaling is putting real estate deals together with no money, no credit.
All right. This one came from Joe M on YouTube. He said, "Thanks for the tips on land comps. I have a residential land lead in Austin, Texas. Similar land is selling for $60K on the MLS. How much would you offer the seller and how much would you sell to buyers?"
If he said if a similar property, he said, yeah. Similar property is selling for that on MLS. So it didn't sell, it's just for sale. Let me see. Similar land is selling for. It's for sale.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that that's the value. Sometimes you can go by that. Like I said before, that property should be listed on Zillow also. But there's a lot of views on it, and I determined like a lot of views. Say it's been on the market for 10 days and it already has 500 views. Then that's 50 views per day. There's quite a bit of interest in it. So they may be having price close to that. So assuming that. So say it's, really probably could go for 55, no problem. Then I'm trying to get the property that I'm doing a deal on probably for 15 to 25, half of that or less, that 55 number.
You hear the baby?
Yeah.
Y'all, Ty is easily distracted. I know, but he don't keep going.
I didn't finish my statement.
I thought you did. I thought you were still talking.
Oh.
Okay. Let me see.
Boy, I could be what? I didn't miss my.
What else? All right. This one came from Anthony Evans. He said, "How do I get my name off of the landlord list?"
How do you get his name off the landlord list? You probably can't. I get text messages on properties I hadn't owned in over 15 years, but almost, yeah. So you can't. I ain't owned them in definitely 10 years, and they still sending me text messages.
Wow.
So you can't.
All right. Let's see. Tanya said, "I want to buy a vacant lot. I went to the tax office, looked up the people, but the telephone numbers weren't working. How do I get in touch with the owner of this vacant lot?"
Okay. Send them something in the mail. If it's a residential vacant lot, you may ask the neighbors to see who owns it. Even if it's a commercial, they may know. Ask the neighbors, the people, the properties that are around. If it's businesses or actual houses, they may know how to reach them. But if also you want to send them something in the mail, send them something UPS or something. Send them this size. It's a little bigger than this, but UPS, FedEx, or whatever to get their attention. Costs a little bit, maybe about $8 to $10, but yeah, do that.
All right.
And if they're local, we'll knock on the door. If you're Gator, if you one of these, baby,
You about that line?
yeah.
All right. Anthony Evans also asks, why don't you use buy and hold?
Why don't I use buy and hold?
Mm-hmm.
You mean? Well, I've done it before. And at some point we'll again. But it'll be commercial. It wouldn't be residential. You can make money with both, but if I was going to lease, I would prefer that you got people that work at Dollar Generals, then you got Dollar Generals. I would prefer Dollar General to be paying me rent than the people that work at Dollar General. Not saying you can't make money at both, but one of them has God money and the other check.
Okay. I'm about to add Ellis Berry. He's in the catering room. Hold on. Hello.
What's going on, my man?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Oh, I'm super tight. What about yourself?
Man, I had to take a quick break. I had to ask you a few questions.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. Well, where you live streaming from?
I'm calling you from Columbus, Mississippi.
Columbus?
Yeah.
Okay. I used to have a gold store down there in Columbus, Mississippi, right next to the Walmart there.
It's echoing in the back. I hear you twice.
I'm not sure. You're not echoing on our end. Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. Well, anyway, you pulled some comp for me last week on a house, and the guy, the ARV was 135, and the guy last offer was 63,000.
Okay. What condition is it in? I don't remember, but what condition is it in?
I would say it need a roof.
Okay, that's $7 grand, $8 grand. What else? What else? What else is it livable?
Yeah, it's livable.
Okay, you remember the square footage?
Oh, hold on a sec. I got to go down. 1,265.
Okay, all right. So what is that? 25. Oof. 1265. You say 1265? Yeah, so about 35 grand. You said what I say, 135?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're close. You say you want 63 for it?
Repeat that time.
You say you wanted 63 for it?
Yeah, he wanted 63 for it.
If you can get him down to probably 45 or 50, I think you have something you can move.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I got another question while I'm up here.
Yes, sir.
Hey, them bandit signs do work.
They do or don't?
I had a lady call me this morning. She has like 10 properties in the town where I'm at.
Where they located? They're located locally to you?
Yeah.
Oh, in Columbus? Okay, that's what's up. She on half of Columbus. Okay.
She wants 68,000, but it's an older house.
Wait a minute. It's just one house though, right?
But the thing is, it's tenant occupied.
Okay, so this is just for one house?
Yes.
Okay, and how much rent is she collecting?
$675 a month.
If you want 58,000, yeah, that's not enough rent for that. Some people say 1%, but I wouldn't on that. If you could probably get, is that Section 8 or straight rent?
Section 8.
If you could get it down in the low 30s, I think well, probably, yeah, low 30s, you probably could wholesale it maybe out about, in the low 40s, high 30s. Without looking at it, it's just me just talking with what you give me. So
Okay.
But yeah, man, make sure you join us again.
All right, I appreciate it, man.
No problem at all.
I thought he was gonna say something else. Okay. Did you want to do the topic now?
What time? Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we'll get into the topic. Yesterday we tried to do it. Has things going on. We shouldn't even went live yesterday, but I thought it wasn't going to take as long as it did. So I apologize. Will you ever forgive me? Please. All right. So 3 ways to find motivated land sellers.
So sincere.
I know. They hard to do when it's real.
It was the face. Yeah.
So 3 ways. Driving for dollars won't work as well looking for land in the sense of large tracts of land. It could. Let me back up. It could. But you got to have the right tools for that, right? Because if you're just riding along on roads and it's not a lot of houses, but just a lot of land, it's hard to identify the parcel that you're looking at, where it starts and stops. So if you're going to drive for dollars, especially if you're in a larger city, you look for what they call in the biz infill lots, and that's basically a lot next door to a house, and sometimes it's easier to identify when it's between 2 houses, right? It's like an obvious missing house there. Okay, so that's where a tool like PropStream becomes value. That's where the D for D. D stands for
Driving.
4 stands for, and the other D stands for. So anyway, that's one app. It'll help you identify properties. Also, you can skip trace them right there on site and call them and see if they're interested in selling. So those infill lots, but you really probably want to target the A and B neighborhoods of your area. If you're not sure how to do that, or what's considered an A neighborhood or a B neighborhood in your area, not saying these places are better than others, just the only way I can identify them, is that it's going to normally, the A area is going to normally be the higher price houses in a particular area, and then you can figure out what the B is, because that's going to be the next level down. The way you can do that is you can go to Zillow, put in the name of any city, and or you can put in the county if you wanted to, but name of any city, and you can sort. If you go all the way up to the right, unless you're on your phone, it'll be there somewhere, but it'll say sort by, and you want to go from high to low, and those are going to be your A. Those first list is going to be your A and B neighborhoods, and the reason you target those is because people were more likely buy in those neighborhoods to buy a lot there and build a house versus in a D or C neighborhood, because sometimes depending on the market, the D or C neighborhood lot won't make sense even if you got it for free to build a brand new house there, because it will exceed the ARV for that area, the cost of the new construction. But in those higher priced neighborhoods, you may get a lot for $100,000, but it may be a $700,000 neighborhood, and you can have a $400,000 or $500,000 construction and still be built with equity. You see what I'm saying? So that can be a significant difference. But for you, that $100,000 lot, you may be able to get it for $60,000 and wholesale it back out for $80,000, $85,000. Oh, well, that's $25,000 payday. So driving for dollars is one way. Cold calling really works well. Cold calling. First you got to build a list So you might just, well, I don't know how to do that. Well, you know, your boy got you. You already know that. I don't know why you're tripping. So you build a list. So text the word list, and this will show you how to do that. Now that'll show you how to build just any list. This video here will show you how to build a list specifically for landowners. If you text MUD, right? Okay. Then if you're gonna cold call, you can do it with your smartphone. This old baby right here, powerful tool here. They say this is more powerful. Oh, this is more powerful than the computers they use to put the first men on the moon. That's what they say now. I may be wrong on that. I think I've heard that. So you can use that, but that's a slow grind. It can be very frustrating on top of being frustrated just anyway. So if you want to put it on steroids, text dialer to get an automatic dialer. Imagine being able to dial 10 numbers at a time. Imagine. That's real. All right. So cold calling. What we found, the time frame we've been doing it, sellers are so much more receptive cold calling landowners versus houses. We got enough data that is totally different. Maybe because they don't get as many calls as the people that own houses, and there's not that level of I'm tired of y'all calling me. Maybe it's, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's part of that. All right. So if you build a list for cold calling, guess what you can do with that list? You can also text message that same list. And they're a lot more receptive with text messaging also. So yeah, so with that being said, those are your three options: driving for dollars, cold calling, and text messaging. Now there are other methods. That same list that I was just talking about, you could do direct mail to individuals that own land. A lot of people in the biz, they do what they call blind offers. They'll actually send out letters to individuals with the contract and everything in their sign on what they're willing to pay for it. Or they do what they call range offers. Say we're willing to pay 5 to 10 or 15 to 20 or 45 to 50 in the letter or whatever. So normally if people call them back, there's a high probability they're ready to do some business or give you a qualified cussing out. So but hey, that's the business. So boom, so those are some methods or ways you can find motivated landowners.
All right, we got one on TikTok that we haven't had. Footman, can I use my ITIN number to do a wholesale?
Is ITIN number?
Yes, and I have it. And then it stands for individual taxpayer identification number. Yeah.
I guess that's just your personal.
Yeah, I guess that means a social security number. Yeah, they don't have a social security number.
Oh, that's one of those. Okay, one of those foreign things. Okay, you don't know nothing about that for real. So I guess so. Yeah, got to be identified some kind of way. That's what you. That's what you have. Okay. Fine.
He gonna say that's what you got.
Well, they don't know.
They're gonna be watching it while we got her. They gonna be watching us. We got her.
It's so wrong with you.
Okay.
He said, "That's what you got." No.
Yeah, so scared though. Let me know. You got one, don't you? Hey, I'm sorry.
It's so wrong with
you. Hey, I've never left these waters before.
All right. Let's see. This one says, "I want to buy a vacant."
That thing's still on?
Yeah.
Oh, you tried to turn it up.
I
Though.
turned it down.
It's gonna take a minute.
Yeah.
Take a second.
They said, I want to buy a vacant lot. I went to the tax office. Oh, I already read that one. Sorry. I meant to click on this one. My bad. They said my deal is having issues with clearing title. The closing date is approaching. What should I do to protect my deal? I already have it assigned.
Okay, so they're saying they have a buyer ready to go on a property, but the property has title issues, if I understand the question right. You need to find out what are the issues and see what you can do to push it forward if even possible. That's it. The title company will work on it, but nobody will work on it as fast as you will work on it if it's something that you can actually work on. So you want to be very proactive in trying to get that title clear if it's possible. Especially if you got a buyer ready to go. Yes.
All right. Do you provide a sellers or buyers starter list?
Yeah, I just held that up right a minute ago, baby. Let me see. Text the word list for that. And if you're trying to do some bios, we got that too. Text buyers to the number.
All right. If they do the comps, how long does it take for you to get back to them?
Oh, we do the comps for you all? Oh, FUP, if you need us to comp a property or just simply tell you if you got a deal or not, FUP, it's within 24 hours, going the same day, normally.
Okay. This is a good question. They said, I've read quite a few forums where normal residents claim to remove bandit signs themselves and say that wholesalers are scummy and scammers. Is there a way to appear more legit, or should I ignore it?
Ignore it. We
Right.
scum and scammers. Scam, what they call it?
Scummy and scammers over
Well,
here,
I don't know
baby.
about the scammer part, but
No, I'm
scammers,
just playing.
they might be accurate.
Those people are ignorant. Let's see. This one says, it says, is the 70% rule still valid or outdated?
Nah, it's still valid. It works for most markets. Some markets it needs to be higher, but for most markets, you have to have something to go by. Give me another way of doing it. You got to have something to go by to know if you got a deal or not. It's just a generalization now. There's those other factors that'll factor in sometimes, but for the most part, that generalization can get you paid.
With the housing market starting to come down on their prices in certain areas, do you think it will be harder for wholesaling real estate?
No.
Yeah.
That means some people been waiting to buy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody ain't just jumped out there and bought. Some people been waiting to buy for the prices to come down. A lot, not some, a lot. No, as long as shelter, aka houses, don't become free, there's going to be endless opportunities for those that will seek it. Seek and you will find. Ain't that some quote from somewhere? The Bible somewhere?
Yes.
Knock and the door shall be open unto you.
Knock and the door will crack.
Let's move on. I don't know what Bible study you was at.
You should pray.
And then a crack. All right. This one says, I'm willing to pay for hands-on service. How much? Okay, I should have read that before. How can they inquire about coaching?
Oh, just text me. We will gladly quote you the current offerings.
Let's see. Okay.
This person on TikTok asks, how do you compete with agents?
I don't at all. There are more leads we can look at, literally.
Well, you already asked. You told them to DM you about the coaching, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
See.
All right. Is it true that most county websites explain the tax lien process?
No. No. Now, let me just say that you could probably find it somewhere online for pretty much each county, but no, all counties ain't built. Some of them are very good at that and they are making that information available, but not all of them. I can guarantee you that.
All right, let's see.
Big guy.
This one says, how many deals do you do a month and how much do you spend on marketing? They want to know all your business.
I see. We do okay. Spend more than what I think. I ain't gonna say spend more than what I think I should, but they can do better. But working on that.
You gonna get like somebody to hold a sign up somewhere, like twirl it like at Little Caesar?
I done did that before.
Really?
Yeah.
There's nothing you haven't done.
Yeah, I done did that for my boy
What they
Daniel.
dressed up as?
That I had Daniel in a hat, like a Mr. Zeus hat. You think that's with the different colors? Like that's
Oh.
Cat in the Hat.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's just the tall hat with the different rain. Yeah, that one. He used to be out there, and I told y'all that story. Daniel, he used to when they were the day he got in, the day I hired him, he told me my wife get me fired off every one of my jobs. I said, man,
you
gone,
sure
man.
did.
How
Tell
do
us
you
that.
lying? And that's what happened. I ain't never fired nobody before. I fired Daniel, and he worked, and when he was there, worked his butt off. But just had so many problems. The wife just called him every 30 minutes. They had 10 kids. And they were living in a hotel.
Sheesh.
But hotel's expensive.
I know.
I didn't even know this hotel existed in Birmingham. This is where they was at. He was over at Homewood off Gray Spray. You know where the Arby's at? And you make that left and go up the hill?
Oh, I thought you were talking about over there by Walgreens.
Yeah, it's sort of.
Say,
Yeah, you go past Walgreens like you're headed toward Homewood, and there's an Arby's. I'm sorry, not an Arby's, but a Wendy's right there on the corner where the light is. It used to be an Arby's right there. You make that left and go up the hill. It's on there up there to the left. I didn't even know that existed up there.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Wow, that's crazy.
You know, it
10 kids. They was in the room.
It was something ridiculous like that. It was something ridiculous like that. I literally went to the grocery store a couple of times for him, and I was letting them shop. He said, well, my wife really likes diet some drink. I said, man, y'all need water, man. Hey, trust me, they'll drink it if that's the only option.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They get some Fagos.
I bought, then he had they had kids from like 3 up to 20 something. Yeah, 3.
So all of them weren't staying with them, were they?
All of them were staying. Probably like 7 of them were staying there. Yeah, and so they needed Pampers. They had kids they had one young because they needed Pampers. So 3, you out of Pampers, or can you still be in Pampers at 3? I guess technically, yeah, you can.
You need to be potty trained.
You better be potty trained by that time.
Somebody was wearing Pampers because I was buying them.
I guess it. How much train?
I was buying them, so I know somebody was wearing Pampers.
Maybe it was an adult.
And then they smoked, so that's an expensive habit in itself. You know what I'm saying? They had a son there. And he came out there and, Who? Oh, I don't give a what? They're not watching this. And then she had a mama, lived out here in Hoover, had plenty of bread. Guess what he said that they wouldn't
why?
My wife don't like because her mother likes to try to make the kids mine. That's why y'all don't want to stay with her.
That's why you don't want to stay.
I say, oh my God. See that's a perfect example. See, we have a real homeless problem in the U.S., but a huge percentage of it is a lot of people have somewhere to go, but they would rather live on the street.
You don't know that. Don't say that.
No, I'm telling you, this is a perfect example. I'm gonna give you another one.
He finna get us.
Huh?
He finna get us canceled.
I ain't saying it. I said some. I ain't say all. I said some. Just a perfect example. They had somewhere to go, but they rather to stay in a flop house hotel. Cause it was, oh my God, you can't have kids in that environment. It was you have to humble yourself not to have your kids in that environment if there's an option.
Too much pride.
They had that pride is, oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this place existed. Not that I know everything, I'm just saying. I was like, what is this? Somebody's actually renting spaces out to people. It was like 10 floors. And so next time we out somewhere, I'm gonna take y'all back up in there. I'm like, wow, who's running this establishment? But anyway, so they wouldn't go stay with her mom because she didn't want, because her mom, you got all them rug rats running around there. They gotta have some order. They got to have some order, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But my point is, we didn't start rocking and rolling. We got to get out of here because we gonna be on a copyright. Go and close them out. Copyright infringement on TikTok, Instagram, called the studio next door, whatever. But when you did get your questions answered, post them in the comment section of any video, and I'll answer those on a daily. I'm a little behind. I'll try to catch up by tomorrow. And that's it. we out. See you on the flip side.
He said, that's it. We out. Bye, y'all.
Text me and I'll text you back.
Text me, then I'll text you back.
Text me and I'll text you back.
You text me, then I'll text you back.
Text me and I'll text you back.
TikTok, you don't stop.
I will help you make your paper stack.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now?
205-964-52439.
Yep.
205